Hi YouTubers, it's Steve Roberts again calling from Rescape, my channel that seeks to aid and benefit people by altering their fundamental perception of reality. If you don't know what that means or need to know what some of the vocabulary I'm using during this video or other videos, check out my previous videos. They will probably have titles that indicate the word that I'm saying, and then hopefully you can go there and see what I'm talking about. Right now I'm doing a video series called Structural Alignment, which basically means what you're taking judgments based off misperception that may cause tension or grief in your life, and then replacing it with judgments based off true perception, which are structural alignments. And as long as you can hold the structural alignments in greater and greater degrees, they will give you greater and greater benefit on how you relate to life and what you want and what you do. Today's structural alignment, I don't know how I'm going to title it. It's pretty far-reaching. I could probably do a video series just on it. So instead of giving you the tension and then the correction, I'm first going to give you the structural alignment, and then I'm going to give you examples on how it plays out to different things. This is not a new structural alignment. Most people that have spiritual backgrounds will recognize what I'm saying, but for people that don't know it, this is almost the essence of rescaping your life. Like, this is what you do to change what's going on in your life. Now, this is a structural alignment in a nutshell. Basically, I thought about how to put this forward in simple terms, and this is the best I could do. How you relate to something, be it a thing or an event or a point in time or whatever, how you relate to whatever you want to categorize in your mind, that way that you relate to it is how it has power over you. So some things you relate to, let's say someone's being a jerk to you and you immediately get reactive, and then so let's say you're in a bar and a guy decides to come up when he's drunk and wants to fight you or something, and he's just being belligerent. There's certain ways we relate to things naturally, and they're not wrong necessarily, but if you want to live a more and more whole life or be a whole person, there's truths that you can see into things that then by understanding those truths, you can then build those alignments such that you can act on them, and you'll get results that maybe a lot of people wouldn't be able to do if they couldn't see those truths. And so, for example, with the guy in the bar, the truth in him is that he's drunk and he may have had a bad life, and for whatever reason he's being a jerk, but you don't see just him being a jerk right then and there. You expand your mind beyond, and like, well, he was a little kid once, he has a mother, he has people that care about him, so maybe if you were to beat his face in, like, you could be hurting other people that are just victims, and and maybe you could go to jail. Expand your mind to how that affects you. Like, now you've got like a $10,000 lawsuit. It's just not worth it. So the way that you rescape the situation, the structural alignment, is how do you relate to that person, and the relation then becomes that he's actually not a bad person. Now, you don't know this for sure, but in that moment you choose, you make the reason in your mind that he is your friend. And that might sound ridiculous, and it might be really hard to do, but for someone who's a whole person, they have the ability to change their relationships and things like that. So what you would do maybe, and this isn't a new example, I'm not making an example of, someone's actually told me this. You like see, well, maybe he's got a beer in his hand, and you're like, oh, what's that beer you're drinking there? And then what that does, it takes his mind off wanting to fight you, takes it to his beer, which is a more pleasurable thing. And then maybe the way you say it makes him tell you, and he's like, oh, okay, let's get it. I'll tell you what, I'll buy you another one. And then so you're spending $10 to get him a beer and saving $10,000 of a lawsuit because you had to beat his face in the bar stool or something because he wouldn't leave you alone. So, but what allowed you to have him stop like that and allow you to actually make that scenario work is you have to believe that he can be your friend. Because after you do that, he very well might be your friend. And it's because you had that mind expansion, that foresight to see that was a possibility, and it's the wholeness that allows you to access that possibility. So there's that one. Another one that I thought of as an example before this video, so it's not a spontaneous example, but this is one that I remember. If you ever see, actually, it's been done before too. If you saw the Jungle Book like from years ago, like not the animated series, but like the real one that's like really graphic and people get like killed and like smashed and stuff. There's the tiger that just like eats people, but with Mowgli, Mowgli and him have a stare down, and he leaves Mowgli alone because Mowgli's part of the jungle. Now, what that can mean, Mowgli did not relate to the tiger like a predator. Like, he looked at the tiger and he saw, like, I am like you. Like, I was born and raised in this jungle like you are. Like, I have the right to be here. So, and the tiger saw that. So if you're like, in real life, I don't know if this is going to work in real life, though I have heard it does. you go, a tiger's coming up to you, maybe just stalking you a little bit, checking you out, seeing if he wants to eat you or not. Now, if you relate to the tiger like a predator, you're going to get afraid, and the tiger's going to smell that fear off of you and see that you're afraid. It's going to eat you because you relate to it like a predator. If you see the tiger as an equal, or even as a friend, if you have really good structural alignment, you can see him that way. And now the tiger's like, wow, he's got a lot of respect for you. He's got a lot of, I don't know, bravado or courage or something. I don't know if I should mess with him, or maybe it's more of just like a respect, like the lines, like he's not like the other people. I think I'm going to leave him alone. So again, I don't know how that works, but that gives you an idea. I mean, that could definitely work on people depending on who the person is. It might work on animals. I don't know. I've heard of training, like Indian yogis will do that. They'll like find like predators and like have staring, and then see if they can keep their minds bent to like a place of calmness so they won't get eaten and things like that. Whether or not that's true, I believe it's very likely to be true, but it sounds kind of ridiculous. But then a lot of things Indian yogis do is ridiculous, so you never know. God, there's all sorts of things. I mean, I don't mean this have this be a religious channel, but a great example of this in progress is when Jesus says, turn the other cheek. Someone slaps you, and then when you turn the other cheek, you're just like, oh, here, slap me again. And then they're like, why do you want me to slap you? Like, I just slapped you. You shouldn't like that. Why are you helping me slap you again? And it completely changes the scenario. Like, it's like, not only is Jesus telling you to be your enemy's friend, but Jesus telling, like, if they're stealing something from you, don't prevent them from stealing something even more valuable. It's like, help them do things to you. So then suddenly they rescape. They're like, this person that's supposed to be my victim is actually assisting me in hurting them. Like, what is this? And it changes their mind. It gives them like it startles them into like stepping out and thinking of something that's not there before. So that's sort of like what this channel's trying to do, except I'm not doing it in a startling way. I'm sort of doing it in a gradual way. But you can do radical things like that, and just completely shift people's reality. Be like, just do something completely different. But in order to do something completely different, you have to have that mind expansion and that wholeness to be able to access those possibilities. So when you like love your enemies, like, why would you love your enemy? It doesn't even make sense. They're trying to kill you. And it's like, but they're not your enemy anymore. It's like you see that and you don't relate to them that way. So this can be applied to a lot of things, but whole people can do this. Whole people have access to situation events that other people don't have access to because they're able to rescape their perception this way, to make things not through action or desire, but literally by seeing things different ways. Then their spirit will start interacting with the spirit of the situation in such a way that different outcomes will occur. So this is just an overview of that. This will be one of the shorter videos. Nope, the video's been going on a while. Okay, so I guess I'll stop now. But this is a big one. It's one of the harder ones to do, but if you practice it and can get it going and getting in worse and worse situations, like maybe you are staring down a tiger, if you can do that, you've got a really good alignment. You will be able to highly, highly increase the quality of your life and the life of people that you come across, regardless of who they are or how they relate to you, because you control the relation. So, any questions, post in the comments. Again, this may seem strange to a lot of people, but this is pretty key. My name is Steve Robertson. This is Rescape Day 13. Thanks, bye.